Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I stand before you today to remind you of a powerful truth. God is about to surprise you. I know it feels like you've been waiting, struggling, and sometimes even doubting. But I want you to understand today that a life-changing miracle is already on its way to you. We all face moments in life where we feel uncertain, discouraged, or even defeated. There are times when it seems like the weight of the world is on our shoulders and the challenges we encounter feel insurmountable. Yet, in those moments of doubt, we must remind ourselves of a powerful truth. You were born with a unique purpose, and that purpose is unstoppable. No matter the obstacles in your way, the purpose that God has placed in your life is far greater than any struggle you may face. I want you to understand today that your purpose does not change based on the circumstances around you. Your purpose remains constant because it was established by God before you were even born. You may not always see it clearly, and there may be times when you question whether you are truly fulfilling your purpose. But I assure you that even in the midst of difficulty, God's plan for your life is being carefully crafted and shaped, and the best is yet to come. Whatever challenge you are facing today, no matter how big or small, it pales in comparison to the miracle that is about to unfold in your life. When you feel uncertain, when things don't seem to be going your way, it's important to remind yourself that what God has placed inside of you is more powerful than any temporary setback. You have a unique calling that no one else can fulfill. There is no one else who can live your life, walk in your shoes, or fulfill the purpose you were born for. Your purpose is divine, and God has equipped you with everything you need to accomplish it, even when it doesn't seem like it in the natural. Often, we face difficulties that challenge our belief in the promises of God. We may face financial struggles, health problems, or relational difficulties, and in those moments, it can feel as though the weight of the world is pushing us down. But let me remind you today that these struggles are not a reflection of God's ability to fulfill His promises. Rather, they are opportunities for your faith to be strengthened and for you to grow in the understanding of who you are in Christ. When you feel weak, when you feel like giving up, I want you to remember that your breakthrough is just around the corner. God is using every moment of struggle to prepare you for the great things that are coming. You may not be able to see it yet, but God is at work behind the scenes, aligning circumstances and preparing your heart for the miracle that is about to manifest in your life. The power to move forward and fulfill your purpose lies not in your own strength, but in the power of God within you. In 2 Corinthians 12:9, the Apostle Paul shares a profound truth. But he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." In our weakness, God's power is perfected. When we face the toughest challenges, we experience God's strength in a way that we never could in our own ability. Your purpose is unstoppable because the one who created you is unstoppable. His power is at work within you, and nothing in this world can prevent you from fulfilling the purpose for which you were designed. Understand that God is not limited by your current situation. He sees beyond your present challenges, beyond the struggles you face, and He knows the future He has for you. He has plans to prosper you, to give you hope and a future. These plans are not thwarted by your circumstances. No matter how dark it seems, no matter how long the wait, God is working on your behalf. He is preparing the perfect time for the miracle to unfold. We must also realize that sometimes the road to our purpose is not easy. There will be moments of struggle, doubt, and even pain, but these are not signs that we are off track. They are part of the refining process. Just as gold is refined in fire, so too are we refined through our trials. Every difficulty you face is preparing you for a greater revelation of God's power in your life. And when you step into your purpose, you will see that all the trials were necessary for you to be positioned exactly where God needed you to be. When you hold onto your purpose, even in the darkest times, you will see that God's hand is at work, guiding you, strengthening you, and leading you into the fullness of His plan. Your purpose is not just about you. It's about the lives you will touch, the impact you will have, and the legacy you will leave. Every step you take, every decision you make in alignment with God's will brings you closer to fulfilling the incredible destiny He has designed for you. So, no matter what you're facing today, I want you to declare over your life that your purpose is unstoppable. Every challenge you face is temporary, but your purpose is eternal. The miracle that God is preparing for you will come, and it will be greater than anything you have ever imagined. You were born for this moment, and nothing can stop you from walking into the life-changing miracle that is coming your way. Hold on to your faith, keep your eyes on the promise, and know that the best is yet to come. Faith is a powerful force that goes beyond just believing in something. It is more than simply acknowledging the existence of a higher power or hoping that things will turn out for the best. Faith is a dynamic and active force that requires us to step out, take action, and believe in the unseen. It is the ability to see beyond what is in front of us, to look past the limitations of our current circumstances, and to anticipate the promises of God even when they are not yet visible. When we talk about faith, it's important to understand that it's not passive. Faith is not waiting for something to happen, it's expecting something to happen. Faith is believing that God is not limited by what we see. It's believing that the impossible is possible with God. In fact, when things seem impossible, when every door is closed and the road ahead looks uncertain, it is then that faith becomes the key that unlocks the impossible. Faith in its truest form is acting in anticipation of what is not yet seen. It's a confident assurance that God's promises will come to pass even when we cannot see the way. Hebrews 11:01 tells us that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This means that faith is the very substance of our hope, the proof that the things we are hoping for are already on their way, even though we cannot physically see them at this moment. It is the conviction that, although we may not see the manifestation of God's promises yet, we can rest assured that they are already in motion. There are times in life when we are faced with situations that seem beyond repair. It might be a financial crisis, a broken relationship, or a health issue that seems insurmountable. When the situation is at its worst, it's easy to lose hope and begin to believe that things will never change. But that's when faith must rise up in us. It's in those very moments of difficulty that God is calling us to believe in His power and trust that He can turn any situation around, even when the odds seem stacked against us. Faith gives us the strength to hold on to God's promises. God does not operate according to the world's standards. Where the world sees impossibility, God sees opportunity. When we trust in His power, we acknowledge that He has the ability to do what we cannot. In Mark 9:23, Jesus says, "Everything is possible for one who believes." This is not just a statement of encouragement. It's a declaration of the limitless power of God that is available to those who have faith in Him. When you choose to walk by faith, you are aligning yourself with the supernatural power of God. And there is no limit to what He can do through you. We must also understand that faith is not a one-time decision, it is a continual choice. It's easy to have faith when everything is going well, when everything is falling into place. But true faith is displayed when the storm is raging, when everything seems to be falling apart, and we choose to trust in God anyway. Holding fast to our faith means that we don't give up. Even when we can't see the solution, we choose to trust that God is in control, that He has already gone ahead of us and prepared a way for us. In times of uncertainty, it's crucial to remember that God's promises are already activated by our trust in His ability. It is not our own strength or our own effort that will bring about the miracle we are waiting for. It is our faith in God's ability to do the impossible. When we trust God, when we believe in His power, we activate His promises in our lives. He is waiting for us to trust Him fully, to put our faith in His ability to do what He has said He will do. There are times when God will test our faith, when He will ask us to step out in ways that seem uncomfortable or even impossible. But it is in those moments that our faith grows stronger. Faith is like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it becomes. And when we step out in faith, when we act on what we believe, we begin to see God move in ways we never imagined. Faith doesn't mean that we will never face challenges. It doesn't mean that everything will always go smoothly. But faith does mean that we can trust God to work in every situation, to bring about the outcome He has promised, no matter how impossible it may seem. Our faith is not based on what we can see or understand. It is based on the unshakable truth that God is able and that He is faithful to His word. So, hold fast to your faith. Don't let go, even when the road gets tough. Trust that God's promises are already activated in your life. Even when you can't see the way, trust that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating everything in perfect timing. Your miracle is on the way, and your faith will carry you through. Stand firm in what you believe, and watch as God does the impossible in your life. In our fast-paced world, we often expect instant results. We want things to happen quickly and effortlessly. When we think of miracles, we tend to imagine dramatic moments where everything changes in an instant, where the breakthrough we've been praying for suddenly appears and everything is made right. But the truth is, sometimes the miracle is not in the instant, but in the process. We are a people who love shortcuts and quick fixes. But God does not operate on our timetable. His ways are higher than our ways, and His understanding far exceeds ours. While we may be focused on the end result, God is deeply invested in the journey. He knows that it is through the process that we are refined, strengthened, and transformed into the person He has destined us to become. The process is where God does His deepest work. It is in the waiting, in the moments of uncertainty, in the stretches of time when we feel like nothing is happening, that God is at work. You may not see the change immediately, but that does not mean that nothing is happening. God is always working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail of your life, even when it seems like nothing is moving. Every challenge, every delay, every setback is part of the divine process that is preparing you for the miracle that is coming. Think about the process of a seed growing into a tree. It takes time for the seed to take root, to grow, and to develop. If we were to dig up that seed every day to check if it's growing, we would disrupt the entire process. The seed is silently doing its work beneath the surface, growing stronger each day, until one day it breaks through the soil and becomes something greater. In the same way, God is working in your life, sometimes beneath the surface, where you cannot see. The miracle you are waiting for is being birthed in the unseen, and just because you can't see it yet, doesn't mean it's not happening. God is preparing you for something greater than you can imagine, and the process is essential. The purpose of the process is not just to bring you to the miracle, but to prepare you for it. Sometimes we want the blessing without the lessons, the breakthrough without the growth. But God knows that it is through the process that we are equipped for the greater things He has in store for us. The process teaches us patience, endurance, and trust. It molds our character, strengthens our faith, and builds our resilience. Without the process, we would not be ready to handle the miracles that God wants to pour into our lives. Consider the story of Joseph. He was given a vision of greatness, a promise from God that one day he would rise to a position of leadership. But before he could step into that promise, Joseph had to go through years of hardship, betrayal, and imprisonment. In the process, God was shaping him, preparing his heart, and teaching him how to lead with humility and wisdom. When the moment came for Joseph to step into his destiny, he was not only ready, but he was also equipped to handle the greatness that God had promised him. Without the process, Joseph would not have been prepared for the miracle of his promotion. The same is true for each of us. The process you are going through right now is not a waste. It is not a detour or a delay. It is part of God's perfect plan. While you may not understand why things are taking longer than expected, trust that God is using every moment to shape you, refine you, and make you stronger. The miracle is in the process, because it is in the process that you grow closer to God, learn to rely on His strength, and experience His faithfulness in ways that would not be possible in an instant. God's timing is perfect, and while we may want things to happen now, He knows when the time is right. He is never in a hurry, and neither should we be. The delays and challenges are not signs that God has forgotten you, or that He is not working on your behalf. They are signs that He is preparing you for something bigger, something that will require every ounce of strength, wisdom, and faith that He has been developing in you through the process. As you wait for your miracle, I encourage you to embrace the process. Don't rush through it. Don't try to skip ahead. Trust that God is using this time to mold you into the person you need to be to receive the fullness of His promise. Know that even when you don't see immediate results, God is at work. He is developing your character, teaching you perseverance, and setting the stage for your breakthrough. Remember, the miracle is not just about the end result. It's about the transformation that takes place in you along the way. Every moment, every challenge, and every delay is part of the process that is preparing you for the greatest miracle of your life. So, hold on to your faith, trust in God's timing, and know that He is working in you and for you, even when you cannot see it. The best is yet to come, and it is all part of the journey. Life has a way of throwing us curveballs. Just when we think we have everything figured out, something unexpected happens. We make plans, we set goals, and we envision how things are supposed to unfold. Yet time and time again, we are reminded that life doesn't always follow the script we write. But here's the beautiful truth. Neither does God. He doesn't operate according to our plans, our schedules, or our understanding. God is full of surprises, and He loves to show up in ways that defy our expectations. It's easy to get caught up in thinking that we know how things should happen. We picture the perfect scenario, the perfect job, the ideal relationship, the breakthrough that comes in the exact way we imagine. But God's ways are higher than our ways, and His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. He is not confined by the limitations of our human perspective. He is capable of doing things in ways that we couldn't even dream of. And this is where the element of surprise comes in. When we trust in His plans, we open ourselves to receive blessings and miracles that go beyond what we thought was possible. Many times we limit God by thinking He will work within the confines of our understanding. But if you look throughout the Bible, you'll see that God's greatest works often came in ways that were completely unexpected. Take the story of Moses, for example. Moses had no idea that God would call him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt in the way that He did. He didn't expect to encounter God in a burning bush or to be sent back to Egypt to confront Pharaoh. He probably never imagined that He would part the Red Sea or lead millions of people to the Promised Land. But God's plan for Moses was far greater than anything he could have envisioned. Moses had to embrace the unexpected, and in doing so, he saw God move in ways that changed the course of history. The same is true for you. The miracle you're waiting for may not come in the way you expect. It may not arrive at the time you've planned for it. It may not come through the door you thought it would come through. But that doesn't mean it's not coming. In fact, the very fact that it hasn't come yet may mean that God is preparing something greater than you ever imagined. We often look for answers in the places we know, but God is not bound by our understanding. His timing is perfect, and He is orchestrating everything in your life to bring about the best possible outcome. We must learn to embrace the unexpected, because that's often where God's greatest blessings lie. When we are willing to let go of our rigid expectations and trust that God knows what He's doing, we open ourselves to receive things that exceed our wildest dreams. God works in ways that go beyond our human logic. While we may think we have everything figured out, He is working behind the scenes, setting things up in ways that we could never have predicted. This is the essence of faith, trusting in God's ability to do what we cannot. It's believing that even when we don't understand the process, we trust that He is still at work, orchestrating every detail of our lives. The miracle may come in a way that seems strange or unconventional, but it will be perfect because it will be in alignment with God's divine plan for you. God is about to surprise you. I want you to hear this. The blessing you've been waiting for is closer than you think, and it may show up in a way that you least expect. Perhaps you've been praying for a breakthrough, and you've imagined how it would look, how it would feel, and when it would happen. But what if God is preparing something that will exceed your expectations? What if He is working in ways that will leave you in awe of His goodness and power? Embrace the unexpected, because when you do, you position yourself to receive something far greater than what you had planned. Don't be discouraged if things don't look the way you thought they would. God's timing is perfect, and His plan is always better than the one we've written for ourselves. Sometimes, what seems like a delay or a detour is actually God's way of preparing you for something more extraordinary. When you embrace the unexpected, you shift your focus from what you can control to what God can do. You begin to trust in His ability to bring about miracles in ways that are beyond human comprehension. This is where the joy of living by faith comes in. The excitement of knowing that God is always at work, even when we can't see it, and that He is preparing to surprise us in ways we never thought possible. So I encourage you today to let go of the need to control the outcome and trust that God is working on your behalf. Be ready, because the miracle you're waiting for may be coming in a way that surprises you. It may not look like what you expected, but when it arrives, it will be exactly what you needed. God is about to show up in a way that will leave you in awe of His power and His love for you. Embrace the unexpected and get ready to be amazed. There is something profoundly comforting in the knowledge that God's timing is perfect. So often we find ourselves in a rush, wanting things to happen quickly, desiring instant results, and feeling the pressure of time ticking away. We might look at our situation and think, I'm running out of time, or this is taking too long. But what if I told you that there is a divine order to everything, and that your miracle is coming, but it's coming in God's perfect time? His timing is never late, and it is never early. It's always right on schedule. We may not always understand why things unfold the way they do, or why certain prayers seem to go unanswered for a season. But one thing is certain, God is never in a hurry, and His timing is never off. He sees the end from the beginning. He knows exactly when the right moment is, when the right circumstances have aligned, and when you are fully prepared to receive what He has in store for you. His plan is never rushed, never delayed, but always in perfect timing. Sometimes the waiting can be the hardest part. We are living in a world where everything moves at a fast pace. We want things to happen now, and when they don't, we can become anxious or discouraged. But waiting is not a sign that God is not listening. It's a sign that God is at work, shaping things in your life, aligning circumstances, and preparing you for something greater. Waiting is part of the process, and it's where we learn to trust in God's plan. It's in the waiting that our faith grows, our patience deepens, and we learn to trust that God is never late, even when we feel like time is running out. Take a moment and think about some of the great biblical stories where God's timing was key. Look at the story of Abraham and Sarah. God promised Abraham that he would be the father of many nations, but years passed and Sarah remained childless. In their impatience, they tried to take matters into their own hands, but God's plan was never off track. He promised Abraham a son, and at just the right time, Isaac was born. It didn't happen when they thought it should, but it happened at the perfect moment, when they were ready to see the fulfillment of God's promise. The same is true for us. When we are in a season of waiting, it's important to remember that God is working in ways we cannot see. We might think that our miracle is late, but in reality, God is aligning everything for our good. Romans 8:28 tells us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. God is never late in bringing about the blessings and breakthroughs we need. He is working on our behalf, even when we can't see it. There are seasons in life where we feel like we're running out of time, especially when we're facing challenges, or when it seems like the miracle we've been praying for is taking longer than we hoped. But in those moments, it's crucial to hold on to the truth that God's timing is always perfect. Our perception of time is limited, but God sees everything from eternity. What may seem like a delay is actually God's perfect timing in action. His timing is not bound by our clocks or calendars. He knows the right time, and He will make all things beautiful in their season. You may feel like you've been waiting for a long time and you're wondering if your miracle will ever come. You may feel like your dreams are slipping away or that you've missed your opportunity. But I want to remind you today that your miracle is still on the way. It's coming. And when the time is right, nothing can stop it. Nothing can thwart the plan that God has for your life. When God says it's your time, every obstacle will be moved and you will step into the fullness of what He has prepared for you. Even when things don't happen as quickly as we expect, God is using every moment to refine us, strengthen us, and prepare us for what He is about to release. When the time is right, everything will fall into place. God is never late in fulfilling His promises. His timing is always perfect, and He will make sure that everything happens according to His plan, not a moment too soon or too late. So when you feel like you're running out of time, take a deep breath and remember that God is in control. Trust that His timing is perfect, even when it doesn't make sense in the moment. You don't have to rush or force things to happen. God's timing will bring about your miracle at the precise moment that you are ready to receive it. You don't have to worry about the timing. All you need to do is trust and wait with expectation, knowing that your miracle is coming at just the right time. God is always on schedule. The miracle you've been waiting for is closer than you think, and when it arrives, it will be exactly when you need it. Trust in God's perfect timing and know that He is working behind the scenes, preparing everything for you. His plan will come to pass, and it will be more incredible than you ever imagined. So hold on, stay faithful, and believe. Your miracle is on the way, and it's coming at the perfect time. Don't give up now. I know it's easy to feel like throwing in the towel when life seems to be pushing you down, when your struggles feel endless, and when delays and disappointments keep piling up. But I'm here to remind you, your breakthrough is closer than you think. The very moment you're waiting for is just around the corner. All the challenges, the heartaches, the setbacks, they have not been for nothing. They've been preparing you, shaping you, and refining you for the moment when your miracle will finally burst forth. It's easy to lose hope when the road feels long and the promises seem distant. But the truth is, breakthrough often comes right when we feel like we're at our lowest, when we're on the verge of giving up, when we've been pushing forward for what seems like an eternity. The moment you're closest to giving up is often the moment right before everything changes. Your miracle is just on the other side of the struggle, and all the hardships you've endured have been part of the process that is getting you ready to receive it. Think about a seed that is planted deep in the soil. For a long time, it seems like nothing is happening. You water it, you nurture it, and yet you see no visible signs of growth. But underground, it's taking root, and the day will come when that seed will break through the surface, shoot up into the light, and flourish. All that time in the darkness, all the pressure it endured beneath the soil was necessary for it to grow strong and ready to burst forth. Your breakthrough is the same. The struggles and the delays are not signs that God has forgotten about you. They are signs that He is preparing you for the greatness that is about to emerge. The difficulties you've faced have equipped you with the strength, the wisdom, and the resilience you need to walk into the next season of your life. Every disappointment you've experienced has been a lesson. Every setback a building block for the future. They've been shaping you, molding your character, and strengthening your faith. Just like the refining process of gold, where the impurities are removed to reveal the purest form, God has been refining you through every challenge. You may not have seen it in the moment, but each struggle was part of His divine plan to prepare you for your breakthrough. Now you're on the brink of something incredible. God has been working behind the scenes, aligning everything in your favor, setting the stage for the miracle that's coming. What may have seemed like a delay was actually God's timing at work. What appeared to be a setback was actually a setup for something bigger. You are not where you are by accident. Every step, every struggle, every disappointment has been part of God's purpose for your life. And now you are on the verge of experiencing a breakthrough that will blow your mind. The miracle you've been waiting for is about to burst forth in ways you couldn't even imagine. It may come in a way you never expected, but when it arrives, it will be exactly what you need. The breakthrough you've been praying for, the dreams you've been holding on to, the promises you've been trusting God for, everything is coming together right now. You are standing at the threshold of your breakthrough, and it's closer than you realize. Don't give up now. Don't let the weight of the struggles you've been through keep you from stepping into what God has for you. The finish line is just ahead. What you've endured has prepared you for this moment, and now it's time to step into the fullness of what God has been working on behind the scenes. Your miracle is not just a distant hope. It's right here, ready to unfold before your eyes. Remember, breakthroughs often come when we least expect them, when we're ready to throw in the towel, and when we think the situation is impossible. But that's when God loves to show up and do the impossible. He is about to do something in your life that will leave you speechless. All the struggles, the disappointments, and the delays are about to make sense as you witness the miraculous work of God in your life. So hold on just a little longer. Don't let go of your faith. Trust that your breakthrough is on its way and that it's coming in the perfect timing of God. The struggles you've faced are not in vain, and they've only served to prepare you for the miracle that's about to come. Your breakthrough is near, and it'll come in ways that will exceed your expectations. Get ready to see God move in your life like never before. Your miracle is closer than you think. Beloved, as we come to the close of this powerful journey of faith, let me remind you of one undeniable truth. The miracle you've been waiting for is not just a distant dream, it is an impending reality. God is about to surprise you in ways that will exceed all expectations. Your purpose is unstoppable. Your faith has already activated the promises of God, and the process you've endured has been preparing you for this moment of breakthrough. Every challenge, every delay, every hardship, God has used it all to shape you, strengthen you, and position you for the greatness He has planned for you. Understand this: God's timing is never late, nor is it early. It is always perfect. His divine order is unfolding in your life even now, and as you embrace the unexpected, trust in the process, and hold fast to your faith, you will see the miraculous power of God manifested in your life in ways you never imagined. Your breakthrough is nearer than you think, and as you trust in Him, you will walk into the very miracle you've been praying for. So I urge you today, do not give up. Do not lose hope. Even in the darkest moments, remember that God's hand is upon you, and He is orchestrating every detail. The time for your breakthrough has come, and when it arrives, it will come with power, with purpose, and with precision. You are about to step into the fullness of God's promises, and when you do, you will look back and see that everything you've gone through was preparing you for this moment. Trust Him, for He is faithful. Your miracle is on the way. The best is yet to come. Hold your head high, for the breakthrough you've been waiting for is closer than you think, and God's favor is about to pour out in your life like never before.